Victor, I'm here with a new blast from the past, and now it's time to make a look to the GorkaMorka. So this is the original book in Spanish, right? So the translation that we have in Spain, this is from 1997, and this is the first. We are going to make a look to the rule book, and then I will show you what you can find. I have all the other books, also have the supplement. So GorkaMorka had two basic cases when it was launched in the 90s. It had the basic case, the GorkaMorka, and then they launched a supplement that in Spanish was called Salvajes del Desierto, I mean Desert Wild, or something like that. Let me see if I can see here the translation. I don't think there is a translation there. Okay, so I will show you the both books, and then I want to show you a little bit of what was GorkaMorka. So in the 90s, remember, books were only in one color. We have some pages in full color, and GorkaMorka was was like the Necromunda, but only with orcs, where the orcs goes on tracks, they fight each other, and there were rules to just to give skills. Very similar for me. It was like Necromunda, but with orcs and Mad Max style, right? It was a mixture of Necromunda and Mad Max style. So here you see the cover. You will see that there is orcs, but there is then in this point there were new warbands that were not just orcs. This book contains the rules, the different vehicles, the extended rules, that is called complicated rules, the weapons and tables and extras. So this was what coming in the GorkaMorka. This was a board fort. Okay, this was essential to play because sometimes you were attacker and defender. And this box was coming with two tracks. These are the very old tracks, and two. I don't remember what it was called. I don't remember the name in English, but it was this one that is like a bike with tracks at the back. Then there were some anti-vehicle things. There was the flame template, the explosion template. So here you see there was all these type of things. Okay, this is the other thing that was in the GorkaMorka was you can see here how it was to turn the vehicle. So you put the vehicle touching here the side, and then you turn it 45 degrees in this side. Okay, these are the two main vehicles. Fun rule was if during the movement of the vehicle an orc was falling from the vehicle, the orc was falling in the game, right? You will see that it's all black white. Okay, there was of course rules for the terrain, how the different orcs can interact. The cover was based on the second edition rules. Okay, so and this was still, it was still using centimeters in Europe, while they were using inches in UK and I guess in North America. You can see this is a typical table comparing strength against toughness. Okay, so what's basically all based on Warhammer 40,000 second edition. So the base of the rules was the same, and then they put some more specific rules to simulate, to go more in detail in the track fighting rules. There were a lot of close combat. Okay, you can see all the artwork it was in black and white, like this one. So very fun artwork as well. Okay, there is no glare, as we don't have anymore. Okay, there was ramp. This was the ramp rules. You can have also this demolition ball if you wanted in some of these. Here you see all the specific rules, how the crashes work. So there were rules for crashes, rules for ramping, how to combat from vehicles. There were a lot of type of different weapons that they just launched, like this harpoon here. There is a boarding rules, so you can jump from one track to the other, and there were even boarding walkways. Okay, and then there was the complicated rules, and the complicated rules was mainly how to hide yourself, explosion of weapons, loose grenades, so it's in case that you make a mistake, and then there was a psychology, like the fear, terror, stupidity, hate, um, and this was frenzy. Okay, there was the Overwatch. These were rules for Overwatch as well, and then how all the different weapons and how they were working. So starting with these are chains, I don't know, knives, and then there were the basic weapons. I don't know, this is a crossbow, for example. So they were all type of primitive weapons here. They were the artillery, like the rocket launcher or the harpoon cannon. And there were also the armors, and there were as armors, there were the shield, primitive armor, anti-frag, and heavy armor. Then there were extras that you can put. This was all the rules that you can put, extras you can put in your vehicles. And one thing that was interesting in this period is that when you were hitting a vehicle, was not against armor. So you were hitting against, you have to throw a roll here and you see what you are hitting. For example, you roll a d6, okay, when you're shooting a boogie, a truck or a semi-truck, then you can, with a 1 you hit the crew, with a 2 you hit the weapon, with a 3 you hit the extra, with a 4 you hit the wheels, with a 5 the driver, and with a 6 the engine. And then you roll again to see what is the damage to you. So 1 is the less, and then plus 6 on the engine. You do explosion of combustible, okay? And then we have the fast. We have for the bikes we had the same. So very detailed rules. Here you can see these are the ramming rules. So really very detailed, very interesting, and yeah, still have this. Then there was the rest. Okay, the GorkaMorka was coming with 2 books. The first was the rules, and then was the rest. And the rest. Okay, we look here. You can see again. This is a plastic car type of Ford. If you look at the rest, they were recruiting a warband, how to do campaigns. So these were mainly the campaign rules, how to evolve, the mechanical rules, or a little bit of, there was first a little bit of explanation, right? And then they talk about the schism between Gork and Mork, and then there was Meccaburg, was a city of the Mechs, and so this is first the background, and this was the big crater that the ship did when it falls. So there was a little bit of background, and who are the nobles, and what are the bonds, and there was also the Gretchings, and here all the different books, and there was the nobles, the warriors, the how it's called this, the Mechs. Then there was the one that were leading the Gretchings, and then the children and the little ones. So I don't know exactly how they were translated. Sorry, this is all in Spanish and it's difficult for me. Here you have the profile for all the different. So now we will have here all the profiles, and all was paid in teeth, right? The coin used in GorkaMorka was the teeth. Then there was the roster, how to make your roster, and here you see all the teeth that each weapon is costing, so you can buy the different type of recruits that you can have. They cost teeth, and then you have also the equipment that you can put on them. And then with a maximum of 100 teeth, if I'm not wrong here, 100 teeth that you can expend on your warband. Okay, and here you have examples of different warbands that you can use. And there was this was the only part in color. There was the workshop part, or the planes pattern. So it's telling you how to do different type of modelism here, how to paint them. So they talk about how to prime, how to assemble the miniatures, right? How to prepare the bases, how to paint the vehicles, how to make shades and highlights, so the varnish, so all quite basic, but it was interesting to have all these type of explanations and all this type of guidance here in the book, right? So then also how to make terrain, and you can see that in that time there was not plastic terrain, everything was done, it was homemade. They explain how to make hills, different pieces of terrain for the battlefield. If you want to know who was here, so we have in this picture, it's interesting, we have here all the numbers. So we have Nick Davis, Gavin Thorpe, Andy Kedlewell, Mark Saunders, Andrew Sherman, Adrian Wood, Andy Banks, Andy Chambers, David Owen Miller, Ian Pickstock, and Luca Miselli. So all here, and some of them I guess you will recognize, right? So Adrian Wood was quite a lot in the White Dwarf and in the books. I guess we all remember Andy Chambers, who is here in the middle of the picture, and Gavin Thorpe, who is here. Okay, so some of them are quite well known by all of us. Right here we see the picture. This is quite, I think, quite interesting to see this in the book. Okay, and here we see. How to make all these conversions. So it was quite. So you see this vehicle with all these metal parts, and this was all converted, right? So I would say that there was less options at times. So we did not have third parties to make beats, and was more everything more limited. Can't imagine what you can do today if you have this type of rules. Right here we see then. All the rules. These are the rules for the wounds. So these are the campaign rules, right? You have wounds. You can have permanent damages on vehicles, because also the vehicles can be damaged, and then you have to see if you can repair them. The experience that you win, the abilities that you win. Okay, very similar to what is Necromunda today, but was all based on second edition Warhammer, right? So. New skills that you can have, skills in driving, skills in what's called this, like smartness, skills in strength, in ferocity, in being eccentric, in shooting. This is your fort, so you can also invest in your fort, because there were missions where the fort can be attacked. Then they talk about Mechaburg, what is the market, right, where you can buy things. Then there was the workshop, and then how to upgrade weapons as well. So it was a very detailed book, right? Let me see if I can. It's easier for me to put it like that, and then I can. So, okay, how to they were working on the books. So the thing was, and this is the dock. Okay. So in case you need to go to the dock, and chirurgy, personalized leg, so you can have BO parts, reconstruction of the skull. This is quite, because an orc was supposed that you can even exchange the head to a different body on a orc. Orc can survive a head transplant. Okay, and then you can have. So it was quite eccentric, and then we have the different scenarios. Okay, the first one is the big mess, and we have this is like a, how this will call is pillage, something like that. We arrive the first, so this is the big fight. Bronca is like a big fight, persecuting, and this is the siege. Okay, this is it's missing one of the boys, and that's all. And then we go to more background and type of this is a type of background and representative knowledge, and we have here all the glyphs from the orcs. Okay, so you can see there was a lot of content, not too much background, but a lot of content. And then some months later, it arrived the Salvajes del Desierto, that will be translated as a wild from the desert or something like that, or desert wilds. And you can see that there is humans, and these are humans that they paint their face in green to be like orcs. Okay, so this is really, there were new warbands here. They created new options. So we have the, I don't know the translation of that, what is it, like the scavengers or something like that. Okay, then we have the rebel small, or the tiny rebels, that is mainly the Gvechings that want to be, that are rebel to the orcs. They are the communist Gvechings. And then there were the mutants. Okay, so what this expansion introduced was new type of warbands. So these are the guys that were human, that they modify themselves to look like orcs, but they will never be as strong as orcs. Okay, here they explain how to make a warband with these guys, and how to recruit these guys, and how to play them in campaigns. You can see that. So this was quite adding a nice variation, and then what are the abilities that you can get, and what are the ones unknown. You can see that they are quite, but they use the same principle. So they are humans that they feel influenced by the orcs, right? Humans that try to imitate orcs. So what crazy can be that? Okay. Okay, we see that then they have their own weapons, and also they have different. So, and then we have the revolution of the Gvechings, and you can have a warband on the Gvechings. So here a little bit of background, who they are, creation of a band with the rebels, right? And this was a very interesting one. This was a vehicle that was wind move. Okay, so there were rules for that, and one guy was able to go on top. So it was really based on this type of vehicles that surf on the beaches and on the desert. Same type of principle. Okay. Okay, there was the boss, then the standard bearer, then there were the typical small ones, right? They had snots. Okay, the snots are the super little ones. Okay, of course, they were not strong. They have special rules. And you can see that they were going like on boats. This is like a boat with a big fan at the back, or big propeller, I have to say. Okay, here is how they move. They have the special vehicles. This is the one that was telling you that goes with the wind, and then you have to choose the direction of the wind, and depending the direction of the wind, it has different rules. So they were quite detailed, all these rules, quite complex. Second edition Warhammer 40,000 was quite detailed and complex in some cases. So the cost of the revolution, that means how they are going to buy, and you see that some of them, they don't have the best weapons. Okay, so you can see again. Just wanted to share you because it's part of the background of all what happened in Warhammer 40,000. And when you say someone talking about GorkaMorka, no, you know that is that. Then we have the mutants, the incursors, and these were riding this type of very strange creatures. That, by the way, I have some of these miniatures are part of my Renegade guard, right? Or Renegade, yeah. So they were mainly riders. Okay, they were the Prophet, the Custode, and the Ungs. I don't know what is the translation for that. They were moving 20, you can see, so it means that they were moving 8. Okay, so because they were all cavalry, and they did not have vehicles, if I'm not wrong. All of them were going on cavalry. They were a little represented. They were nomad. You can see like this type of creatures. So they were really mutated with the mutated riding creatures. So they had some close combat weapons and also some shooting weapons, more limited. They were winning experience in a different way. Okay, and Then they also had modifications in the weapons and so on. Okay, so this would then we have some more background here. In the old times they were put in the background, sometimes mixed between the rules. Then we had the campaign rules for savage or for wild bands, okay? And then we have different scenarios. This is the tramp, the convoy, I got you. Then there were even special characters. Okay, we have here Narsvuk Wurthak. Okay, searching. I don't know how to translate this, to be fair. Then we have the dog. Okay, we have a mech. We have here the smasher, I guess it's translate, something like that. And then we have the great red Gretchen. Okay, he was the communist, the initiator of the rebellion of the Gretchens. Okay, you have this was coming. This supplement was coming with this type of terrain. Always board made terrain in all these books. This was a small box, and yeah, here you have the summary of all. So this is, and then let's finalize with this. I think this is quite interesting. So this is GorkaMorka. This is the map. So this is the big, like the big Sokavon is like the big hole or the big bump. I will call it. It will translate it like the big bump. So this reflection is annoying. Okay. So here there is some ruta, called something like that. Yeah, and here you see. So this is the district of the Gretchens, the pyramids. So all in the middle of this there, very Mad Max type of game based on Warhammer 40,000 second edition. Really interesting. Okay, I think Speed Freaks just scratch a little bit the surface of what used to be GorkaMorka, but all in all, I really like this one. So yeah, in this video I just wanted to share with you what was GorkaMorka. I hope you have enjoyed this video as much as I enjoy always looking again these old books, a little bit of history of Warhammer, and that's all for now. So please let me know what do you think, and as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.